best Onball defensive tutorial on YouTube. Guaranteed. What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy M2K, and today I got the video that everyone has been waiting for. Onball defense NBA 2K19, and this video is going to turn bad defenders into good defenders and great defenders into clamp gods. Alright, in this video we're going to address three things: onball defense, help defense, and most importantly, mentality, all of which is going to help you become a better onball defender. I'm also going to give you guys two of my secret tips when playing onball defense. But yeah, for those of you guys that are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the crew, and let's get straight into the video. So here's the trick to being a good on-ball defender. All you have to do is keep a body between the offensive player and the rim. That's it. You don't have to steal, you don't have to go for a block or anything. Just keep a body between the rim and the offensive player. Now that's easier said than done because we have left trigger and right trigger, and some people don't know how to use these two together. Alright, so let's start with left trigger. Left trigger puts you in a defensive position, and as you can see here, when I press it, Kawhi goes down in the defensive stance. And when I advance towards a player, he creates contact. Now, the only time you want to use left trigger is when you're standing in front of the offensive player. That way, you can contain him and create contact so he doesn't get to the basket. Now, for right trigger, you only want to use that when you're trying to beat your opponent to a spot. Alright, so for example, right here, you see Russell Westbrook, he makes a quick move. I turn around, I hold turbo, and I beat him to that spot. Stop, then I hold left trigger again. Here again, he makes a quick move again. So I let go left trigger, hold turbo, beat him to that spot, then I hold left trigger again to contain him. So here's another example again. This dude makes a quick move, and as you can see right here, I'm out of position. So I let go of left trigger, sprint with turbo, beat him to the spot, then I let go turbo and hold down left trigger again. So basically it's just like a gas and a brake type thing, like you're driving a car. Now I know a lot of people say to hold left trigger and right trigger at the same time, but I don't do that because it limits my movement. The only time I use right trigger and left trigger together is in this next situation right here. Now, I know this has happened to everybody that's watching this video. You're side by side with an opponent and all of a sudden he stops, and because you release turbo late, the momentum carries you way out of position. So to avoid this from happening, what you want to do is hold left trigger and right trigger at the same time when you've made contact with the offensive player. So like you see right here, I hold turbo to chase him down, and this contact animation right here happens by itself. Alright, but after you get the contact animation and you're side by side with your opponent, that's when you want to hold left trigger and right trigger at the same time. That way when he stops, you stop right along with him. So again, here with Finley, we hold turbo to catch up with him, and once we're side by side with him, we hold left trigger and right trigger at the same time. Now I'm also holding the right stick to the right, and here's why. If you're playing on 2K view and you have your right stick defensive setting set to camera relative, then holding the right stick to the right puts that hand out, and holding the right stick to the left puts the other hand out. And if you push the right stick up, then it puts your hands up. Now, if you're playing on that on absolute, then it's a complete opposite. Flicking the right stick to this side will put the opposite hand out. Flicking it to the left side puts up the other hand. So it's a more natural movement if you put your right stick to camera relative. And this is what it would look like, right? We hold turbo to catch up to him, and when we're side by side with him, we hold left trigger and turbo, and we put the right stick to the left to keep our hand out. And then when he stops, we keep our right stick up. Alright, I know it's a lot to do at once, but just work your way up to it. Start off just using right trigger and left trigger. Now for the actual on-ball defense. The first thing you need to know is who you are defending. That way, you know how much space to give them. Guys like Curry, you need to be within arm's length. Guys like Rondo, you could leave a huge gap. So for example, here I'm guarding Sean Livingston, and I know he can't shoot from out there. So you see I can leave a huge gap. This guy, he knows he can't shoot as well, so he doesn't take the shot. Instead, he comes in closer, and at this point, we close the gap. We put a body between him and the rim. That's good defense. And for the shooters, here we're guarding Donovan Mitchell, and I know he can shoot. So we stay close, but not too close that he blows by us, and we keep our hand up. And again, that's good defense. Now for the first secret tip. When you're playing on-ball defense, the only direction you want to use majority of the time is left, right, and retreat. Retreat meaning going away from the player. Now I'm not telling you to never advance, but you only want to advance for two reasons. The first reason is to to maintain the gap between you and the offensive player. Like you see here, I advance with Durant just to keep the space between me and LeBron. And here's why you don't want to advance any closer. The offensive player that you are defending is trying to get behind of you to score, right? And you should just be trying to contain him and only advance to maintain the gap between the both of you. The moment you advance any closer, especially if you're advancing with Turbo and he's coming at you as well, you risk the chance of getting blown by. People wonder why they get blown by, but what do you expect? You're advancing and he's advancing, so of course if you're not in a defensive stance and you're not right in front of him, you're going to get blown by. So again, all you want to do, left, right, and retreat. Majority of the time, that's how you want to defend. Alright, if you want to advance, don't advance with Turbo. Alright, you could walk up with left trigger hold, or if you need to cover more ground, let go left trigger and walk up towards the defender. Don't do it with Turbo because that will put you out of position or it will get you blown by. Alright, this spacing and retreat mentality will save you from giving up a lot of easy points in the paint. As you can see here, we switch on ball, we immediately gave some space and retreated, and we cut that drive off. Now it also works against you. As you can see here, we switch on ball again, gave some space, and Paul George made that three.
It falls!
Now remember I said I only advance for 2 reasons, and the second reason is when a pick is coming, and that brings me to secret tip number 2. This chuck animation will take your on-ball defense to another level. To do this, all you have to do is press B when you're close to a player. As you can see here, we do it to Draymond, the ball goes out of bounds, and that's out on him. Here we do it again, we get a traveling violation on him.
Second, 2 minutes gone by. Whistle blows.
But here's how I use this. When I think or I see a screen coming, I come closer to the opponent, then I press B to chuck him out of position. That way it makes it more difficult for him to take the screen. So like right here, I see the screen coming, I press B to chuck, and as you can see, I'm in a better position to avoid the pick and to defend Kyrie. Again here, we're defending Chris Paul. I see the pick coming, I close the gap and I press B to chuck him. Then I switch to Porzingis in the back. He's in a good position to take the pick, so he passes the ball off. Again, Chris Paul gets the ball, we close out, hit him with B again, boom. Stiff arms him, he has nothing available, so he passes the ball. And if you guys could remember from the defensive setting, we're fronting the post, so that's a steal. So if you guys haven't watched that video, go and check it out. So this chuck animation will definitely help you out in pick and roll situations and help you to play better on-ball defense, but it works better against stagnated players, people that stand up and wait for the pick to come, alright? But I'm going to do a full video on how to completely shut down pick and roll, pick and fade, but that's for another video. Now for help defense, and I'm going to quickly run through this because you guys are on my head for this video. Alright, so for help defense, you want to keep switching between the on-ball defender and the help defender. That way you already build a connection with a help defender. So if you get beat, you already know who to bring over to bring help. Also, building that connection makes you play better on-ball defense because you know where help is going to come from. Alright, so you don't have to switch always, but just switch every now and then between the possession so you already know where your help defender is. And now the last part. Now I'm going to quickly run through this, but this part is very important, alright? My mentality when I play 2K is I don't care how you score, just as long as you don't score in here, alright? When you check your score summary at the end of the game, you will see a lot of people score a lot of points in the paint. Not only do they score a lot of points in the paint, they shoot a very high percentage. That's from fast break points, offensive rebounds, and accidental offense. So what you want to do is you want to crash the defensive glass and you want to limit transition, alright? And you also want to force these guys to take perimeter shots, not in your paint. And that's where the whole retreat mentality works perfectly with this. Because if you keep retreating and you force them to take perimeter shots, they're not going to shoot that high of a percentage, alright? Now I'm going to show a couple of clips from my team. This is Danny Granger basically going 7 for 7 from the three-point line in the first quarter. Alright, and as you can see from the clips, he's making a lot of shots that's kind of contested. Alright, some of them he's open, but most of them I'm right there and he's banging these threes. Okay, so for me, my mentality is you could score, I don't care about that as long as you don't score in my paint, because I know eventually the game is going to balance out itself. Alright, eventually he's going to start missing those shots, and sure enough, he made all those shots to miss wide open shots throughout the game. So just remember, right, you don't want to give anybody anything to a 3. A 40 overall player will not miss a layup, but a 99 overall Galaxy Opal Stephen Curry is not 100% guaranteed to make a 3-point shot. Alright, so the paint is the #1 priority to protect, and that's going to help you play better on-ball defense when you remember that, okay? Now, I know I rushed you the whole last part, the help defense, the mentality part. Mostly that's you guys' fault. But anyways, I might do a part 2 for on-ball defense. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's it for the video. We got merch. Check the link down in the description. But yeah, it's been your boy M2K, and I'm out. Peace.
You know, anticipation is a huge part of defense, and he played it perfectly right there.
Celtics leading by 7. Out to the wing.